today is May 10th, and I am recording my pilot, my introduction episode to A Woman's Touch, the talk show. And y'all, I have been so nervous about this thing. I have been pushing it off. I've been delaying it, really. Like, the Lord has been leading me to it, and I just keep on shutting it down. And by shutting down myself, allowing fear and anxiety to kind of overcome me, which God does not give those spirits to us. So I must be doing something right for me to be feeling those feelings, because obviously it's an attack. But that's neither here nor there. That's a sidebar. I'm here. We're here now. We're recording. We're in the moment. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So here we are. So let's get this show on the road. As stated, God's been calling me to do this talk show for quite some time. And, you know, I actually do have the heart to want to do this. This is something I actually want to do in life. I want to be a talk show host on national TV, globally known for just speaking to people around the world through A Woman's Touch, the talk show, of course. But I'm going to get into that. Let's just keep going. I'm going to follow my notes, and we'll touch on why I want to do this and who I would like to speak to, what my audience is. I was trying to say who my target audience is. I'm led not to just talk about what I want to do anymore, but actually do it. Because I can write all day long my plans and have my plans going, but when am I going to get started? That's the question. And, you know, I can't allow fear and anxiety to stop me from the blessings that God wants to give me. So, yeah, so I might be rambling a little bit, but I'm getting to the point. I'm going to get there. So there ain't no more talking. We just going to either do it or we don't do it at all. But I also just want to take time to thank my community, the people who've been very supportive along this journey of A Woman's Touch. I'm so grateful. God speaks through people as well as speaking to me directly. He speaks through other people just to let me know that this is what he wants for me. You know, I might question God, like, is this exactly what you want? But no, this is exactly what he wants for me. So I'm grateful to be here and to be doing this today. What is A Woman's Touch, you may ask? So here's the history. In the summer of 2021, I'm going to read directly from what I have written here, okay? So, in the summer of 2021, God began speaking to me about having a women's group. I did not know the basis of this group. I just knew that he wanted me to lead women. Which is funny because, transparently, I always underestimated the power of women. I always saw us as inferior to men. Early in the summer of 2021, I thought my women's ministry would be called Eve's Intuition. Because as a sidebar, I do feel that we as women have a sixth sense because of Eve, who was the first to eat from the tree of wisdom and knowledge. But that's just my 2 pennies, or in other words, my 2 cents. I knew Eve Intuitions wouldn't be the name, as it is, in my opinion, it gives a new age perception, and that is not what God has called me to. So later that summer of 2021, I went to a clothing store with my dad. As I walked around the store, I witnessed the male store manager yelling at 2 women associates for a mistake that he made. In that moment, God spoke to me. Now I have been trying to figure out how to say this. This is another reason why I've been kind of delaying this entire process that God has given me, because of this one statement that I'm about to say right now. So I'm just trying to not sound biased for my male viewers, but we're just going to say this straight with no chaser. The dialogue between God and I was, men have caused chaos around the world, And he wants the sensible, compassionate, reasonable, and nurturing nature of a woman to love and heal the land. He wants a woman's touch. So in my mind, whenever we had this conversation, I started picturing like the dictators, the male dictators around the world who've caused havoc, chaos. And God just let me know that he just wants women to step into their power, use the gifts that he has given them, and help shape the world to a better place. Now, I want to put a pin in that, because when I said that he wants women to help shape the world into a better place, he wants us to step into our power. But that's not to say that it's only women who's going to make this world a better place. It takes everybody who's a willing vessel to make this world a better place. But he has let me know that he wants women to take initiative. And not to say that it's not all women, but he has put an emphasis on African American women or Black women to step into their power, to step into the gifts and talents that he has blessed us with, to help shape this world. So that leads me to my next topic. Before I answer this question, I actually would like to give the definition of feminism from an online source. So I Googled feminism, and the definition given to me, or that I read, was a social, political, economic movement that advocates for the equality of all genders with a particular focus on challenging and dismantling the systematic inequalities and discrimination faced by women. So although I love that definition that I just read aloud, I would have to say no, that a woman's touch is not a feministic group. In fact, in my opinion, from my observation of what I've seen from feminism or feministic groups, feminism can create a sense of divisiveness. It is conceived as, in my opinion, from what I have seen, just to reiterate, that feminism groups almost can be conceived as a male hate group of women who hate men. So as written straight from the paper, no chaser, feminism, in Chloe's opinion, can create a sense of divisiveness, and it is conceived as an assault on the power of men. A woman's touch is not a group for that, as we stand for love for all of God's people. I'll dive a little bit deeper about women's touch and how it came about. So in 2023, we talked about how summer in 2021, God told me that I was going to lead women. And, I thought the name was going to be Eve's Intuition, but he told me that it's going to be a woman's touch. So to move forward, in 2023, the Lord gave me a dream about women lined up outside my door to sign up for Bible study. And if you know my home, there's a lot of land in front, and there were women all the way back. Like when I say it looked like an auditorium, or like if you go to a convention center and there's like a concert when you have seats all over. It was that big, like women outside my door. So he let me know that it was going to start as a Bible study. So Women's Touch commenced. So it was established in 2023, November 2023. I was actually on Facebook, and I reshared a post. It was to talk about Black women coming together for Bible study. And then I reposted it, and I was like, yo, I'm down for this. And then other women started commenting, and they were saying how they were down for it. I was like, yo. So God started putting on my spirit, like, it's time. Like, Chloe, it's time to get that vision that I put into your heart and the thing that I put into your ear and your vision, your dream, get it started. It's time. So Women's Touch commenced 2024 on January the 8th. I think, yeah, January the 8th, my mom's birthday. So it started as a Bible discussion. I call it a Bible discussion because, so I think I maybe had said Bible study, but in the dream was a Bible study. I call it Bible discussion because I would like to, Bible, when you say study, that's by the book to me. But what about those who read by the book, but also have questions, like questions that are like, not like, they're like outside the box type of questions. Like, say for example, this is just random, right? Say for example, the Bible talks about it's not good for man to be alone in Genesis, right? So, because God made a woman, because it's not good for man to be alone. But why did Jesus come here, and why was he alone? Why didn't he have a wife, So things like that. Why, so we're talking about like, the scriptures, and something pops up and you're like, oh, wait, but Jesus didn't have a wife, or or why Job had to lose all that stuff, and like why God had to tell Satan to go try his servant's Job. Like, let's have a conversation. Like, I've been in Bible studies where I want to have a conversation and I was out of line because of the kind of questions and things I want to talk about. Because that one particular Bible study I was attending, it was very by the book. So yeah. So a Woman's Touch started out as a Bible study, but God also gave me a dream. It was 2023 still. It was still 2023. He also showed me that it was going to be a podcast. And, I say podcast, but I really call it a talk show, because that's what I really wanted to be. I really want a Woman's Touch to turn into a nationally televised talk show, where I'm talking to people around the world. I do want to iterate that although this is called a Woman's Touch, this show is really for people. This is for God's people. This is for the Black woman who wants to love and heal God's land through transformative conversation. So I might be talking to my homegirl or the lady that I met at the grocery store the other day, but I'm also talking to the man of the house, the children of the home, the grandparents, the family unit, whoever needs to be spoken to, so we can break generational curses. Generational curses are I'm tongue twisted, y'all. Woo! Okay. Generational curses was holding us back. And not just generational curses in the home, but the homeless man, the addict, the person in prison, from really truly living out our purpose. And I believe that is holding us back from even knowing why we're here from the get-go. We're not here to just hold up space. We're here because we have purpose to build the kingdom of God. So to reiterate, this is the Black woman's mission to love and heal God's land through transformative conversation. I'm talking conversation that people want to bury, don't want to talk about because they're afraid to talk. Afraid to open up because, who's going to judge me? What's somebody going to say? Because of validation. Like, no, let's talk. Really, there's a communication deficit around the world. And I believe that just be able to speak up and converse about things that you want to bury, instead of doing that, instead of making yourself your own oppressor by suppressing the things that is on your heart, but you don't want to speak on. Not speaking or communicating leads us nowhere. Communicating our thoughts and feelings gives others a sense of awareness, and that's the one way to love and heal, not just the land, but yourself, and to shed light on other people. So this is a show where we'll have guests on. I'll ask questions. My guests will speak, and I'll just listen, because listening is an act of love. That's a book, by the way. That's a good book, by the way. I recommend that book. But listening is an act of love, and I just believe because in 1 Corinthians 13 it talks about love is the greatest of all things. That's the greatest gift given to man. We know that because the son, how God gave his son, that's the greatest gift. He died for my sin and your sin too. So love is the highest form of any and everything, the greatest gift of all, basically. So my gift of love to my guests is listening as they speak. On each episode, we'll have different things to occur, such as a trivia. We'll have maybe an icebreaker in the very beginning. We might even pray on episodes, because this talk show is a ministry. So me doing this is not for Chloe. This is for God and the upbuilding of his kingdom. And I will not leave him out of this show. We're also going to have like a portion of the show at the ending where we'll have like a 5-minute of fame. So that's just basically where each guest gets to talk about themselves and, just advertise what they have going on, such as they have a business, their gift, their talent, or a project, or anything of that nature, anything they would like to share. They have that 5 minutes of fame, and where you can find them on social media. So this actually concludes the pilot of A Woman's Touch, the talk show. And this wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, I've been really been pushing this thing off, y'all. Like, my heart would be pounding. I would think a lot about it. I go to sleep because I just don't want to do this. So I'm just going to, what I'm saying? I don't want to do this. I'm scared. But Chloe, I have to tell myself that I can't allow fear to hold me back from everything. I've already delayed myself enough. It's time to stop delaying myself and stop blocking the blessings of people who are attached to my ministry, that God has given me to lead. And this is not just about Chloe. I gotta take self out of it. And my feelings out of it, and just do what God has called me to do. So I'm very grateful that I finally did it. Yeah. All right, I'm done. Peace.